Hello, Murray Newlands with Search Engine Journal here at the Search Metrics event in San Francisco with Eli from SurveyMonkey. Eli, today you were talking about international SEO. Tell us about that. What are your top tips?
So the first thing anybody needs to know is that there's a massive opportunity to get traffic and conversions internationally, even if you don't really have global products. And the way you're going to do that is by recognizing that there is a huge global audience that you can take advantage of. So only 10% of the world is internet users in the United States. So you're missing out on 90% of the entire world if you only market to the United States. Even more, only 13% of the world even speaks or understands English even moderately. So if you're only optimizing English, you're not even taking advantage of all those 87% of other people that don't understand what you're talking about. And on top of that, only 30% of e-commerce in the world is done in the United States. So 70% is done outside the United States. So there's a huge opportunity. So take advantage of the opportunity. Second, keywords. Just optimize your keywords. Optimize your keywords for what people will actually type. If they're combining words like they do in Germany, combine your words into one. If they're using special characters like they do in Scandinavian countries, use those special characters. Next, understand culture nuances. Your content that works in the United States and in English might not necessarily work elsewhere. So take that content, figure out what will click, use Google Trends, use YouTube, know what clicks with different audiences and write content towards that audience. Next, you want to keep iterating on your processes. So you'll write content, you'll put content out there, go in your analytics, see what's clicking, see what you're ranking on. If you're not ranking, maybe your keywords are wrong. Never stop. Keep optimizing, keep learning from what you have. And lastly and finally, don't be lazy. So there's so many great examples of like language gaffes where people launched a product, and a product I mentioned today is in the Czech Republic, they have a drink, it's called urinal. There is no way that that drink will sell anywhere where they speak English. So know what your content is, know what will click with an audience, know that it's actually going to sell. And don't be lazy. Like make sure that it will actually work and really put the work into it and you'll be successful.
So for many companies, businesses, individuals, their blog, for example, is where they create a lot of their content. How would they optimize that internationally? How do you get that translated? Do you use a tool, or would you recommend against auto translation? What's the process for a company to start optimizing in other countries?
You definitely do not want to use machine translation. So if you use Google Translate, Google knows it's their own translation database, and they know it's machine translated content. If you use other machine translation, it's very possible that your content won't make sense to that audience. So great, you thought about going international, but now you're offending people and your content doesn't really make sense. So you can go on Craigslist, and I searched on Craigslist for German speakers in the San Francisco Bay Area, and there are lots and lots of them. So you go ahead and look on Craigslist for someone that speaks whatever language you want to create content in. Make sure that they're a native-born speaker and they're here, after they've been educated in other countries, so they understand the slang, they understand the culture, they understand the content that will work, and they'll translate your content for you. And you can take that content and publish it on your blog. Make sure you warn your readers that this is a piece of content that they're not going to understand. And surprisingly, or not surprisingly for anybody that's done this, you will be getting traffic and you'll be getting readers and your content will be ranking.
Now, let's continue on the theme. Let's say you're doing this for your publication. How does that work with that structurally? Do you have to set up a separate site entirely? Or do you have, is there a tool that switches between languages? How does that work?
It's fairly complicated if you want to do this right, but I argue that you don't really need to do this as right as you need to.
Okay.
So for example, Search Engine Journal, they could create one category on Search Engine Journal called International and make a German category, and here's your German content. Everybody that subscribes to the feed will be seeing it, but you'll warn them that this is German. If you want to go ahead and create an entirely new site, that gets a little bit more expensive. You need to create another instance of your CMS, and you have to have international content. Even more complicated is you can't just do this once, you have to do it over and over again. That's more work. If you just create one piece of content once a month in another language, you've accomplished what you need. You're getting international traffic without really spending too much time or effort.
Fantastic advice. If people want to find out more and connect with you, how do they do that?
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm one of the few Eli Schwartzes. Or you can follow me on Twitter at 5LE, the number 5LE.
Thank you very much. Have a great show.
Thank you, Murray.
I'm Murray Newlands with Search Engine Journal. I'll see you next time.